Hello guys, this is Mike from Deathless Gaming, and tonight we're going to be doing a holding points guide. Alright guys, so let's start out. I'm going to be going over first the basic buildings and what they look like and how they work. So without further ado, let's start. So as you can see, I'm pulling up, this is the first building. It is a first level, and then we go up what we call the big fat stairs, and this leads to the top level. Now usually the point room is up to the right, and these three entrances to this building are one of the most critical. And you always have to have people on this big fat stair right here, and this engineers maxes, and this will prevent people from flooding on. So as we go over to the point room, this is where usually the A point is. You have those double back doors, which you've always got to have people on, and you really got to be careful on how you choose the cover as to prevent grenade spam, and you got to watch out for grenade spam on these two back entrances. Most platoons refer to these as the double back doors. And then when we come up, we have my personal favorite, the skinny stairs. Now, people coming up here, you usually rocket primary them, and that will take care of anything. You can also post a max here, but don't have regular infantry guarding this because there's too much rocket spam. But rocket primarying will work here very well. Now, sometimes the point or the generator will be down here. So when this happens, you want people on the fat stairs and the skinny stairs watching these entrances, and you really want to have a lot of medics. It's easy for grenade spam to get real here, so you really not necessarily, you don't want to have that many people on the point as guarding the big and skinny and fat stairs, and that's really what's critical to holding this building. So this building is probably one of the most common point rooms in the game, and it also has a couple SCU rooms as well. So you really got to know this building well. So your most critical point is the fat stairs. That usually controls the gameplay. And then your second most important point is probably the double backs and the skinny stairs. You usually don't want anybody on the first floor unless you have to. With that said, let's take our flash and let's move on to the next building. Now, this is kind of a rare building to be used for a point room, but sometimes they'll have the point right here, and you have two entrances, the one right here, and then the one up here. So this is more rare, but you'll occasionally find it. So usually you want people pointed at both of these entrances, watching them where I am. This is a good cover place, so this is more effective. Again, you gotta watch grenade spam and maxes with this building, but if you got enough people on the point, you'll be fine, as long as they're in that corner. So this building is a very common point building as well. Now, many people will think you have to be on the point, but in this building, you actually want to be outside defending the building. Have like one person on the point. And the reason for that is this building is very susceptible to grenade spam. So you always want people on the outside of the building guarding it. And with that said, you just don't want to be in that building, because either maxes, it's just every corner people can shoot you. So don't be in that building. Have like one person keeping the point on lock, and then everybody else surrounding the building. Alright, here is probably the most, if not one of the most common buildings also in the game. So usually you never want to be on the first level. There's only one place where there's a point here, so you usually don't have to be. So yeah, don't be on the first level, and don't be in the doorways. That gets you killed. Never be on the doorways on the bottom level. Now this top level, you want people on both of those stairs. You want on those main stairs. Those two main stairs are the most critical. Now keep in mind, although you're going to have maxes and NGs on that stairs, you also have to watch for the ceiling and the balcony. That balcony, a lot of people will come through that balcony sometimes, so you got to watch that just in case. But mainly, you want medics keeping people alive on that point room. And the roof is somewhat critical, but it usually isn't. A light assaults will sneak up on you guarding the stairs, and that's really when it gets dangerous. So, like I said, just basically watch those two main stairs, and you'll be golden. Also, keep in mind that whenever you're holding a point, you want to have medics. And with that said, let's get into some of the theory of point holding with some gameplay in the background. So really, when it comes to point holding, you always have to have medics. If you don't have medics, that point's gonna fall. Now, in most cases, you want maxes if there's a lot of pop, and engineers to back up those maxes. Almost always you'll have heavy assaults and maxes looking down the stairs, and most of the point buildings I show you have stairs. So it's really critical in holding a point to learn how to keep your medics in flow with your engineers and heavy assaults, and also you got to keep in flow your maxes staying alive. So platoon leaders, one of your biggest challenges is going to be getting that flow of your maxes, medics, and engineers and heavy assaults working together. Now generally you just want one infiltrator and your entire platoon to have a motion sensor down. So pretty much, as we all know, light assaults and infiltrators are pretty much almost useless when it comes to holding points, and there are some exceptions, but I won't get into it. So really, those 4 classes are going to be what's keeping your point together, but as soon as your medics go down, you're done. Now, it really depends on what kind of pop you're facing, so situations can change rapidly, very rapidly. So again, you always have to watch it. So it really depends on the platoon lead. If he's a really good platoon lead, you'll get lots of people on the point. And point holding, I'd like to stress, is very boring usually. Point holding is almost always very boring. But it can turn into action very fast if you got a max crash, or if somebody just comes to rush the point, a group of people. So although it's like guarding, doing nothing 50% of the time, it can turn into spontaneous firefighting, almost all of your platoon dying. So really the best way to take a base is just to have every squad of about 12 to 20 people locked down on the point, and sometimes 48 if it's a large enough base, and really just keeping that base held for as long as possible. Even if it's boring, even if you want to go farm the spawn room, you got to stand on that point. And usually you'll just cap bases and nobody will be able to stop you, because if you got a really good point holding team, you're never gonna have a problem. Now, this can change with the dynamic of SCUs and other stuff, but that's another guide for a later date. So, platoon leads, for those watching this, I hope you already know this, as it's your responsibility to know this kind of stuff, but if you don't, good on you. People watching this, I hope this helps you understand the dynamics of how really good platoons work and how point holding works. I just made this guide because I noticed when I searched point holding guide, nothing came up on YouTube, and I thought that's pretty bad since this is one of the most important aspects of the game. My next guide for Planetside 2, I'm thinking about taking player-made bases, so I'm thinking I should go really in-depth and do defending player-made bases next. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions, if you like my videos on Planetside 2 and other stuff, I have War Thunder and Warface, so please like, subscribe. I try to keep up my content very actively. That's pretty much it, guys. This is Mike from Deathless Gaming telling everybody to stay classy, Planetside. Stay classy.